Hello, and welcome to another episode of Creative Inclinations with me, your host, David Steele. This is the one-on-one conversation-based podcast about art, music, culture, entertainment, and more. And today, we have a very special guest, Todd Clark.
Hey,
welcome.
Hi.
So you can say hi to the people, and yeah.
Well, I go by Todd E Clark.
Todd, yeah. I have that written down, but I didn't know if, is there another Todd Clark? Is that why, or you just like the E?
Well, there's a story.
Okay.
I think that there was like a creative director.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to name him, but
right.
he, I think he lied to me and told me there was another Todd Clark.
Oh, so he kind of gave you that advice to.
Well, no, he kept like forgetting me, and
no.
I think he was really, not telling me the truth, but
yeah.
And that was part of it, and the other part was that, I think that was like my Instagram name, and my youngest kid, when they were in high school, used to call me Todd E Clark.
Okay.
With all of their friends from high school, so it just kind of stuck, and then
that's your brand now. I mean,
people know. It's my website, and it's also I needed the extra syllable. Let's be honest.
Todd, because it's like two syllables, or Todd E Clark.
Instead of.
Right, it's
so
a little
better.
There is something about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because that's like my name, David Steele. Like some people call me Dave, which is cool. I mean, they can call me that. It's like a short, but it's like I don't like saying Dave Steele. I think for the same reason.
It's kind of a cool name. I'm gonna say.
But it's the three, David Steele or Dave Steele.
I know, but you kind of sound like either sounds like a wrestler or a porn star or a hitman.
Right? Yeah, it could be any of that. Any three of those.
Todd Clark does not have any of those.
Yeah. No, but anyway, but yeah, I mean, I guess my preferred name is I always like David. I don't know, but regardless,
you need the syllables.
Yeah, exactly. I think it has something to do with that too. But so anyways, I've definitely been following your stuff for probably about 2 years or more. And so I'm excited to have you on. You're an artist, designer, illustrator, photographer, actor, producer, musician, and an outdoorsman. That's your list. I always kind of take that from the Instagram because that's what you identify as. So I love it. But that's a lot. That's like more than I really thought at first.
Yeah, I'm a cat dad too.
Yeah.
I got a dog too. I'm a dog mom and a cat dad.
Definitely wanted to ask you about the cats here in a bit, because that's definitely a huge part of your art.
I don't know if we have enough time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats.
Right. Okay. So anyways, some of the stuff I've known. I mean, I know you for is Factory Obscura. I know you're a part of that. Yeah. You've done some stuff in the Curbside Chronicle recently. Is that kind of a newer thing?
Yeah. Okay. I did a cover and a feature, some feature stuff last year, and then from time to time they'll ask me to do some illustrations.
Anyway, I don't pick up that magazine as much as I should. I don't know. It's like,
well, it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's. Well, you're into comics, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, the current issue is about comics.
Yeah,
man.
They have that big thing at the OK Contemporary. Is that have
Comic-Con,
to do with
the local Comic-Con?
Like, it's like
what it's called.
Something that's going on there currently. Yeah, with all about local comics. I know one local comic, Don Rosenkrantz. Are you familiar with him? He might be like newer into the game, but he's a great artist.
I know Jerry Bennett, and Jerry Bennett's one of the. I think. He set it up. He's one of the. I don't know what his role is, but I think he's behind that.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. Like I said, I don't know as enough about it yet, but definitely would love to talk to those guys because that's a cool thing they're doing, especially local stuff. I just love all local art and whatever it is. So, but first I wanted to kind of throw out a couple of events I know. I wanted to just shout out for the people that you're going to be involved with. One is the Canopy Little Trees Group Art Show coming up. Well, I think it's already going to be on display by the time this episode's out.
Yeah, it will, but there's
like a couple of exhibitions, right?
Yeah, on the 11th is kind of the opening. The 12th, which is this Friday, is the Cruise the Plaza, Live in the
Plaza Walk.
And so it's kind of open for that.
Right. But then obviously the Plaza Festival,
which is on the 27th, it'll be up for that, which is also Plaza Walls Expo. It's the same time, all of that.
Yeah.
So it'll be up it'll be up for most of this month.
That's awesome.
And there's like a lot. There's like, I don't know, 200 artists in this.
Huge list, yeah. But it's all, so how many, you brought your piece. You want to show it real quick? This is your piece. You're going to be entering into the exhibition. It's very good. 3D, as most of your stuff is, I think.
Yeah, well, whenever I feel like
a
it.
lot. Yeah, I guess it probably does. Certain inks, I imagine, or a different way of painting it.
It's more about contrast.
Yeah.
Between colors, offset.
Yeah.
And kind of a solidity in the art.
Yeah.
If things are softer, it doesn't work as well.
It needs like a hard edges and
doesn't have to, but it works. It works a whole lot better. It's easier. You can see it better.
Yeah, it kind of pops out more.
More graphic, in those regards. So that's kind of some of the secrets, I guess.
Some of the technique.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also, so we mentioned the Plaza Walls Mural Festival. It's the 10th anniversary, and it's going to be also during the Plaza Festival. And you're doing a mural too for that?
I am. Yeah, it's my first one. It's my first one. I'm doing one of the fences.
Okay.
It's my first solo outdoor mural. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I've done only a couple.
Because have you done stuff on the Factory Obscura building?
Yeah, I did a collaboration in the alleyway with Meg Carlo.
Yeah, I saw that on your website.
Her and I did that, and then I did. Before we put the big ear up in Factory Obscura, I did one there.
Okay.
With a coming soon kind of thing as the construction was going on. Yeah.
So is this going to be the biggest mural that you've done, you think, the size wise?
No, I think the one Meg and I was larger, but it was a collaboration. So, but it'll be my first one. It's probably going to be a cowboy cat. I should figure that out pretty soon. But it's probably going to be that. So.
How long do you think it's going to take to get it up? Because that's only in a few weeks anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. I was curious. Like, I was definitely interested in having you on specifically. I wanted you to have on now. Like I said, I wanted to have you on at some point anyways, but because of this mural festival, I was just curious about murals themselves and like how they're even done, because on the large scale, I feel
most people use spray paint.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to use spray paint.
Right, yeah, you have to, it's a specific style of
it's not just
painting.
That. Well, no, because everybody has their own style, but they still use it. I mean, but I know there are different nozzles. There's a lot of things I don't know. I'm painting like one of the fences, so I think I may just use a brush.
Yeah.
Some people use a brush. I think I'll probably just use a brush.
Okay.
Unless... I don't know. I got a committee meeting tomorrow, so
you're gonna find out a little.
Maybe I'll go. Hey, can anybody show me some quick techniques?
Some kind of, because that's like, I think some people use like projectors or something. Is that what you're gonna do, or are you just
I'm gonna project for sure. Yeah,
so you can.
I mean, there's other ways. I mean, I'm probably gonna project. There's grid method, and then there's the. It's not even I don't know what they call it, but it's like you just brush symbols up there, take a photo of it, mock it up on whatever program you're in, and then just kind of lower the transparency on your piece, and then you can kind of see see where you're at.
Okay, so you kind of like make a mock-up on a computer or a screen, and then you can kind of transfer it that way.
But usually what you do is just go up. If you've ever seen anybody take a blank wall and they start spray painting just weird symbols. Yeah. Sometimes it could even be, some people just do alphabet. or just do letters,
Yeah,
not even
like
random
80s,
letters.
Yeah, just to kind of have sections.
And then you take a photo of it, take your image that you've already mocked up or sketch, whatever it is, overlay it, bring the transparency back, then you can see where you're at.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting for sure, because I used to do some visual art when I was in high school, I guess, was the last time I really did any of that. But I remember doing like a large kind of color, it was like colored pencil, sketched out and then colored pencil, but it was like a large sheet, so it was all, but we used a projector to project like a photo or something, and I kind of used that, which I thought was like the coolest thing I'd ever. It's like, what, that technique was like, I never considered something like that before.
Right.
So it was a cool thing. But yeah, I kind of haven't done any visual art really since they're like kind of, hand done. I love computer art and graphics and stuff like that. Yeah. So I've definitely done a lot more of that. So yeah, and speaking of which, like you're a graphic artist as well as a visual artist, like painter and illustrator. But some of the logos, I just wanted to run through because I was looking at your logo list kind of work on your website.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of stuff that I was like, you did all these, like all very familiar logos that I've seen for years. And it's like, wow, you did. So I just wanted to run through a list because I was impressed. Was the OKC Auto Show one. It's like that one's been, I remember when I worked at the news, we used that logo all the time because we advertised for them. You did the Booms logo, which is a great logo.
Both of them, actually.
Oh, they had two?
I did the original one, and then they sold it. And,
so there's a new
version of it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. What a weird one was this car company called Collision Works. I remember doing. I just saw that and I was like, "What? He did that?" Because I put that when I worked in T-shirt design. We did some shirts for them, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like I would say, like I don't know, maybe 2004, 2005.
Yeah, because it was. I was probably working in a print shop. It was probably 2012, I think. Yeah. So, anyways. Great logo. Deep Deuce is a great one. Bricktown, OKC, Rococo, Lyric Theater.
Well, the old one, not the one they have now.
Because that one too, I remember putting on a T-shirt once. It's just like I said, all these logos are just like, wow, you've done a lot and been in the game for a long time, which is great.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was just kind of wanted to shout some of those out because that's people probably don't know. Like I said, they probably seen your work and not realize it was you, like me.
Well, that's kind of how it works, I guess.
Right? Yeah. Which I guess that's the thing.
We don't get to sign that stuff.
Right? Yeah. But it's still great. I mean, and just kind of see some of that a variety of different things that you do because your style is very. I feel like I can see one of your pieces and even though it could be something else. And be like, oh, I recognize your styles. It's very, you've kind of have a specific style, I guess, or somewhat anyway. As far as
I try. Right. Sometimes I worry about that. I'm like, is this my style?
Yeah.
Is this a different style?
Yeah, which is tough because when you're working graphic designer, and your own art, it can be there's a balance there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But so I kind of had a question about that, but I kind of want to start at, kind of go back a little bit, but like what's one of your earliest memories of wanting to be an artist or a designer? And do you have any kind of stories when you were a kid or anything?
Well, I don't know. I have lots of memories of drawing because I was always doing art.
Yeah, that's usually an answer whenever I ask an artist. Yeah. It's like since you could pick up a pencil.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I think that I spent probably a good part of my life being told, and that this was some kind of God-given gift or born with it.
You always had like a natural ability, or people saw that in you.
Yeah, but the truth is, it probably had more to do with the fact that I had a lot of childhood trauma. So art was a great place of refuge. And it became, well, it's still to this day, just the way that I connect with the world. Is through art. So, and that's been happening my entire life, whether it's in music, theater, graphic design, illustration, all that list. You know, even like when I started doing, I like to hike in the Wichita Mountains quite a bit, and other places too, but mostly Wichita's. Because it's so close, and it's kind of my little place of refuge. It's a great place to go and clear your head. It's kind of a church to me. But when I first started going there, that's when I started doing photography. So it's kind of like, and then, so always connecting art to it. And I don't do the photography anymore because I want to, I think multiple reasons, because I started realizing how much it was tied up in that, and I wanted to change and make it something else. Plus I started leading hikes and stuff, and that made it really hard to
take your time and doing the photos if you're having to worry about a group of people for sure.
And at first I was just following people, and of course I never knew where I was back then. People were like, how do you get out of here? It's like, I don't know. I'm following those people.
That's funny.
Because I was just, taking photos.
You kind of, that's something I'm a photographer too. I like performance and event photography and stuff that's usually indoors. But when I started, I used to love going to like the parks and like Will Rogers Garden that's close to here, and like anywhere that's like even downtown or something like that, and just taking photos of nature and things like that. Because there's just, so like you said, going out and being in nature, it's like you look around and you just, all you see is like art. Kind of as an artist, you just see something that could be captured and like, framed in a way, and then something beautiful to look at. So did you grow up in Oklahoma?
No, I grew up in Kokomo, Indiana.
Oh wow, okay.
It's it's a little, it's a small, not small, it's a small city. Small city with big city problems.
So kind of like not like a real small like rural town, but like a little bit bigger.
It's like a Lawton size, blue collar town. Lots of manufacturing. When I was growing up, it's actually, it's the town where, remember the kid Ryan White that got AIDS in the 80s from a blood transfusion, and the whole town was mean to him.
Was that the town?
That's the town, man. That's where I grew up in, and it was a little nicer to me than him. But it wasn't very nice. I don't think it's very nice to anybody, honestly.
So I was curious because I don't know, a lot of people I have on this show, it's like a lot of us are just from here, right? You just But I'm always curious is like what brought you here then? Was it just family moved?
My dad lived here, and so I came to live with him when I was 15.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's something that, being from Oklahoma, I grew up in the city, like I haven't gone very far as like I grew up on like maybe 2 miles from here, just on the other side of May, and then my mom still lives like a mile from here, so. But I like it. I mean, I don't know. This is a pretty good city to live in. It's definitely affordable and, pretty good people. It's good communities and art and music. I mean, I agree. I wish those were bigger, but I think they're getting bigger.
I think they're great, though. I mean, I've been in those communities and in the queer community for most of my life, or most of my time here, and those are all my people. I mean, they just give me a bunch of scapegoats and artists and weirdos, and I'm there. I'm there. Nice. I want to be there.
Yeah, I'm similar too. It's like I kind of I wanted to leave for a long time. I mean, it was probably, I guess, around maybe 2019. I was playing music, and I mean, I've been playing music since 2008, really, but just local rock bands and stuff. But 2019 and 20, obviously the pandemic kind of put a stop to or a halt on a lot of my music for the time being. But anyways, 2019, I was like very disheartened with the music scene and just trying to get anywhere with original rock music. So I was like, man, I want to get out of here. It's like I need to go to like Austin or Nashville or like really I'd love to get to LA if somehow. That was kind of my dream vision, was like, how do I leave? And then I kind of realized, I guess, and I was kind of stuck with the pandemic and everything, and I, don't have any money, so that's a tough one to kind of try to leave. Anyways,
well, that was the worst time,
right? It was just
because people in those places were moving back home.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, at the time I wanted to go, but it was like, well, I'll just wait it out. And anyways, I kind of honestly started doing this, and kind of when Nick started doing comedy, it was about 3 years ago. He started doing comedy, and we kind of he and I grew up together playing music, and so always been good friends. But we kind of got into the comedy scene, and I realized how many creative people were in that community. Yeah. And kind of we started doing this, and it's just like I started finding the community I thought I wasn't around. It's like, no, they were here. I just wasn't looking hard enough, I guess.
Yeah. Did you find it through improv? Or?
Well, I don't even perform stand-up or anything, but it was just really through the podcast and kind of getting to know people. And anyways, yeah. So like I said, I kind of found my people similarly. I mean, I've always had the kind of music community, but that's a little bit different than like the visual art community and like the comedy community. I feel like bands are more segregated by their own self. It's like you're in your band, so you have your buddies, but then the other band, of the other bands, but it's harder to connect with them, I feel like, because you already have your small group. But it's weird. Anyways.
I had a band back in... Oh gosh, let me think here. I can't remember the day. I had one for like 10 years, probably like 2000. I don't know.
Early 2000s sometime.
Mid 2000s to 2015 maybe.
What was the name of it?
Jack Stowage and the Meaty Goodness.
Okay, I hadn't heard of it.
We were a duo. We were a cover band. We were a duo as Jack Stowage, and then after a few years, we added a bass player and drummer, and then added the Meaty Goodness to the name, which was a joke that stuck. And then I stopped. Anyway, and back when we were doing that, the way that we kind of got to know, or how I got to know other musicians, were we used to have this thing called the Mixtape Club, not to be confused with Factory Obscura's mixtape.
That was probably a while before that.
Yeah, we used to do these series of tribute shows.
Okay.
And it was usually there'd be like, most of the time, 3 sets. We'd pick either a theme or a band. Yeah. Like we did a Zeppelin night. We did an old school punk night. A bit of huge Beatles tribute, which was like Opolis and Green Door.
Okay.
And then we did like TV Party, which was all TV theme songs, stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And so what was really cool about it is they'd have like, we'd have like the same bass player and drummer for each set. Yeah. And then we would bring in new guitarists, new singers, keyboard players, whatever, harmonica player. I play harmonica.
Okay.
And so we would bring those in for whatever songs they may be.
Nice.
And it was a really cool way to get to know
different musicians.
It was a way of community going on. And we were used to do it at Green Door, over on the north side, and even when it was...
That was where the conservatory and 89th Street is.
Yeah. Over there, and then even there were a few at the Green Door ones in Bricktown. Yeah. Before it closed.
Yeah, I remember going there a few times. I was pretty young. I was like, maybe... I guess, was that all ages? I think it was.
Yeah, it was all ages.
I must have gone there when I was like 16, 17. Yeah. But anyways...
And then we did some at VZ's and some at Oh, even at some at Opolis, and then some at what's the deli in Norman as well.
It's all over, yeah.
Those are fun though. Yeah. Because you go rehearse with your set.
You're right.
You're usually and most of the time, at least for me, I'd only be in one set. And mostly have one song, but some people would have multiples, and you go rehearse with
mix around
with that set group. And you got to know a lot of people when you did different ones. And we all got to dress up and have a good time. And plus, when you have that many musicians in a show, I mean, and they have their fans.
Yeah, that's like
we would sell.
Good,
we would sell. I don't know if we'd sell them out, but we'd pack the venues every time.
That's always the toughest thing. Yeah. That's one of the things I always hated about trying to book shows and just getting people out. It's always a struggle, but
yeah.
We are now taking donations to help support Rhythm and Wit. It's called buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and wit. And that is where you can go and just donate any amount. I think that what they do is it's called Buy Me a Coffee. You can buy us 1 cup of coffee, costs $5, so you can just donate $5, and that will maybe buy one of us a coffee.
Yeah, so we'll sip on it together.
We'll split it. So you can do that, or you can buy us 10 cups of coffee if you wanted to. So, I mean, that's like a $50 donation, and then that's all goes there. You can leave us a message on there, and if you do leave us a message, we will certainly read it on the air, and thank you for your support. And any of the money that we take from Buy Me a Coffee or any donations at all, we are going to use to put back into the show, whether it's buying new equipment, maybe some mics or cameras or lights or anything like that, or maybe even promoting and just trying to grow the audience, because that's something that I'd like to get into is, buying some ads and things like that to try to grow our audience that way.
Absolutely.
And of course that costs money, so we would love it if you could support us. If you have the means, please go to buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and Rhythm and Wit. Anyways, we can I want to stay on the topic of art a little bit, but were there any influences as far as like artists or anything like that when you were growing up that you kind of looked at, or was it just something that you kind of developed on your own?
When I was younger, I don't know. I mean, nothing really, nothing really comes to mind outside of maybe pop culture.
Right, maybe comic book stuff or...
Yeah, some comic book, cartoons, of course, early morning, the old Hanna-Barbara.
Yeah, because your stuff is a little bit familiar. Now that you say that, it has that vibe.
Tex
for sure.
Avery, that old stuff. Oh gosh, a lot of the Hanna-Barbera, which you don't really see much anymore.
I love that. I love those cartoons.
Grape Ape and Captain Caveman, and there's even Tennessee Tuxedo back in the day, and Chumley and all that. Oh gosh, all of that.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of made you. Did you draw a lot of that stuff? I imagine.
I don't know. I don't know that I did. I mean, I I don't even remember what I drew.
Yeah.
I think mostly I just did a lot of pencil drawings is really all I did.
Did you like come up with your own characters or something, or
no, I don't really think I did. Yeah. I think I mostly would just do portraits and things like that. But boy, I can't remember. I mean, that's so long ago at this point.
Yeah, especially it's definitely, I'm sure, with your history as far as like starting so young and just,
I now have done so much art. I mean, over the years, being a graphic designer all these years, and illustrator,
hard to remember.
Yeah, I have no idea. No idea.
Okay, yeah, I was curious because that's a question that's usually for like a musician or a comedian. They have pretty specific people or bands or whatever, but art is a little bit different. Yeah. It's like you don't necessarily need to or it's like even if as a graphic designer, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even name a famous graphic designer. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I had plenty of those for because I really didn't. I mean, I always knew I wanted to be an artist. Yeah. But by the time I was a senior in high school, I discovered graphic design.
Right.
And then I was like, oh,
this is the way.
This is cool.
Yeah.
And And I did have lots of influences there, like, C.S. Anderson and Duffy Design Group were a couple, and Margot Chase. She's the one that did you probably know, she did like the original Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula logo.
Cool.
She's since passed. Maybe some of the others have too.
Yeah.
But those were people that influenced me for sure. Of course, a lot of pop art,
right.
And then I also, when I was 19, I met a guy named Cameron Eagle, and he was, I think he's probably maybe only 10 years older than me, honestly. And he was an illustrator back in the day, back when illustration was like the jam, like when you could make a living. You had agents.
Yeah, right. Just to, because you had to have that skill. Like computers weren't really there to.
It was before all that.
Yeah.
So there was like this great, and he was kind of my mentor, and he taught illustration at UCO as well.
Okay.
I took his class, and at that point, I can't remember how old I was, probably, I don't know, 20, 22, 23. Yeah. And I didn't really go to college. I took classes and stuff, but I don't have a degree. But I was trying to figure out, do I want to be an illustrator or a graphic designer? And I chose graphic design because the thing that I really learned, and it was especially true during the time when illustration was king, was that you had to stick to a style. Yeah. And because, back then, none of that was digital. Yeah. And so people had to know what they were getting, especially with the money that they were paying.
You had to really have a good, strong portfolio.
A strong style that you had to stick with. Okay. You couldn't be like, hey, I'm doing this style and this style. Yeah. And I'm glad I didn't pursue it at that time, because soon after the bottom fell out of it, and all of those illustrators had to figure out something else. And graphic design was not that way, even though it feels like we're in that time now for graphic design. Maybe
I'm pretty sure that's where I've experienced, because like I said, I was at the Channel 4 News as a graphic designer. Working for them for about 8 years. I mean, it was a good job. I mean, but it was just that. It was a job, and there was nowhere else I was going to go there. You know what I mean? I could just keep doing that, but I had to get out of that. But I tried for years trying to go somewhere else, picking up something else, and
it's tough, man. It's tough.
So I kind of just, I was like, I feel like I always say like graphic design, like I don't think I failed as a graphic designer. I think graphic design failed me.
Maybe.
Because it's just like you said. I mean, but that's very, I think that's exactly it. Because I mean, speaking of which, I had a question about that, because what do you think about, I mean, graphic design is, kind of answered it already, but it's like, it's kind of going away as a career option because of the ability for people to just use Canva to make stuff.
I mean, I don't know that it's going away. I just think that.
But as far as the opportunities.
I mean, I think maybe, I don't know. And I think that that's where we're at. We're just at an I don't know at this point. But I think that designers are required kind of a lot of more requirements to use AI.
Yeah. I mean, in some capacity anyways, because even Photoshop now, it's like, it's built in. You have like these tools, which are cool. I've used them to like fill in, areas and replace stuff, and it just kind of looks at it and does something crazy.
And I think that, but I still think there's going to be a place for people with good aesthetic.
Right. Because
a good aesthetic,
even as a design, as a concept, or, I always think of this, something I was taught when I was taking graphic design in school was it was an acronym for the principles of design, and it was CRAP. Is CRAP is contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, and those are the four main ideas or I've
never heard that.
Right. No, but that's I always remembered that was, but those are the things that you look at to make a better design. You want good contrast and color and light and dark. You want repetition and certain elements and things like that.
Right.
The proximity is just the closeness of things that are important, really. I mean, certain elements like a logo and a website or whatever at the bottom.
Yeah, and spacing, negative space. Yes.
And then what's the other one? Alignment. You want things, a certain alignment.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of like that's been embedded into my brain. Anytime I'm designing anything, I think about those things.
Yeah.
But anyways, so if you're very good at that and you kind of study that stuff, or just even any kind of design elements, I mean that's required, like you said, to a professional look, I think.
Yeah, and I think too that I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I think that's where we're at. We're at the I don't know stage, and I don't want to be down on it. A lot of people are scared. I think everybody's scared because it's not just coming for graphic design jobs. But copywriters, photographers. I mean, I think could be coming for doctors and teachers.
Right, in some capacity, for sure.
Yeah, well, teachers for sure. You know? So it's really scary right now, and I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. I think that humans are pretty bad at predicting the future.
Right.
So I'm just trying not to worry too much about it,
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? Just,
You could just, all I'm doing is just hustling.
You try to adapt. I try to stay with the curve or whatever, and as much as you can. I mean, and just, like you said, keep doing what you do and try to, I think speaking on just graphic art, like if you're just very, try to be the best you possibly can and try to outpace, AI or whatever, and say it's like, well, AI doesn't have, 20 plus years of experience. So, I mean,
but it's also cheaper
and probably quicker sometimes, but
I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's a tough deal right now, and I guess we'll just see how it plays out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I definitely think a lot about in AI, and I want to do maybe some kind of big podcast or discussion with people. I mean, people I know there are a lot of people as artists, we all think about it and we all have ideas about it. So that's a kind of a bigger conversation for another time, I imagine.
Well, I mean, I've been seeing it in selling fine art and prints and things like that, people are looking for things that look like they're made by humans. They don't want AI in their houses on their walls. But they're okay with it being on their food packaging or on the tags for the clothes that they buy, less probably on the clothes that they buy. You know what I mean?
You don't want like a AI graphic on your T-shirt necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about aesthetic. Is that people are like, I don't care if that car ad's done by AI, or I don't care if that, even though people say that about logos, but people are very passionate about logos.
Yeah.
People will lose their minds over logos.
Logos themselves are kind of like it is like a stronger like identity. Like people like get really tied up with brands, certain brands that they love, Yeah,
because they have an emotional attachment to it.
That's what it is.
And that's what branding is.
Yeah.
It's about an emotional attachment. And that's not something that's necessarily built by just design. Design helps you get there, but it's built by who the company or who the organization is, and how they treat the world or things like that, or how people perceive them.
Right.
So
for sure.
Because I always say it's the face of a company or organization. Your logo is your face, and so. Are you going to want to put AI makeup on your face? Maybe for your Facebook profile, but that doesn't mean it looks that great when you're right next to someone, because that doesn't exist,
Yeah.
And I think as Well, I think you're already seeing AI backlash on the daily. Like, it's fine for a meme, but people, again, I don't think they want to put it on their bodies or put it on in their houses. Some people will, but I think most people know.
Yeah. That's something that I noticed as humans. We're very good at detecting whether or not something is, or of course AI is getting better and better to where it is harder to tell if it's made by a human or not. But I think that when people see something they clearly can tell that it's got that uncanny valley type look, and you're like, something's off about this, and we don't like it. We want to reject that, I think, naturally.
Yeah. Well, I think it always happens when the AI is human. It's easier for us to see.
Of a human, for sure.
Harder when it's animals.
Right.
Just because we're not really used to seeing
we don't
the differences.
Unless you pay a lot of attention to, I'm sure you, maybe for cats for you or something, it's like you know, and
actually,
around cats.
It's funny. I have been noticing the AI cats lately, and the ones that are AI and the ones that are not.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that if you're probably a strong animal person that pays a lot of attention to animals, maybe that's you can tell. But you're right. Most people we don't.
Yeah,
we're not out in the wilderness and kind of communing with nature as much as we probably should be.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of had a couple of questions on what was your first job as a graphic artist? You mentioned you took classes, so you didn't have a college degree, but how'd you get started as a professional graphic designer?
Well, I went to Votech in high school, and after I graduated, me and my best friend at the time, we both went to the Votech and took graphic design. And so this was a long time ago. And so I just started calling print shops.
Okay, like t-shirt, just
any printing.
I was thinking I started in t-shirt printing, so that's how where my mind goes.
Well, I got to a place called Crossroads Printing.
Okay.
And Oklahoma Label, and got a interview with them.
Yeah.
And I got a job. I mean, like, it was only, and I was 18 years old. It was like production art and graphic design, because this was pre-computer.
Yeah, it was like for layouts and things.
And I'd do something called stripping. Strip negatives together for burning plates for labels and
printing plates. I'm familiar with some of that. I've done very little like actual paper printing or pre-press, I guess. So, but I'm familiar with the process for sure.
And so I started there, and then with the idea of knowing that maybe I'll get more design as I go, know, and that's how it worked. I would, people would come in and I'd get to design some, and that was my first job. And I think I only worked there for like a year. Yeah. And then went to another print shop.
And then kind of continued on from there.
Yeah. And then I went to S&S Promotions.
That sounds familiar.
Steve Sake,
they're still around.
They're still around.
Yeah,
I still do work with them.
Okay.
And he was like one of the coolest bosses I've ever had. He's the coolest dude. Still the coolest dude. And he had I'd interviewed with them, and they asked me to do I think they were talking about doing like a pre-print t-shirt line or some pre-print t-shirt lines or something like that. So they kind of gave me some homework to design some things. Yeah. And so I did. I did, and came back, and they gave me the job, and then they were like, hey, we're actually not doing those t-shirt lines anymore. Is that still cool? And it was. And I worked there for 2.5 years. And when I left, Steve kind of set me up to do some freelance.
Okay, yeah.
So I started, my first freelance was when I was 20. Started doing freelance when I was 22. Yeah, and it was pretty cool. And I did it for only about a little over a year. and then I got a job somewhere because it was just hard.
That's tough. Yeah, I've really only ever done graphic art for a company or someone.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to do. I mean, that was kind of my idea too, because I think similarly to you, I've always loved art. And when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, I want to be an artist when I grow up. But I didn't know really. You just have that idea because that's really, it sounded cool, right? But then you don't know what that actually means. Yeah. Then I got into high school and was like, oh, graphic art, that combines the two things that I love, which were computers and art.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love working on computers and I love art. So it's like, it's a perfect combination. But yeah, so I always wanted to do like a freelance. That's kind of what I'm doing now, but I'm not, I'm really a DoorDasher and and a photographer, but it's working. I mean, that's kind of been the closest to doing like that. But freelance graphic design is so hard. I feel like you have to really, really hustle. And like I could never,
it can be that way.
I could never really get my foothold into doing it on my own like that. So I don't know. But that's
I don't know that I have any answers of that being easy. It's still hard.
Mm-hmm.
I do it, but sometimes I'm really super poor.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and I think it's kind of that. You have to, I think anytime you do any kind of work like that, you have to know that it's not a consistent paycheck.
No. And I've been learning too that, having multiple income streams, doing, freelance, also, selling art and selling prints and doing all that stuff is another income source.
Yeah.
And then I also sell that in retail places, so that's also other income there.
Yeah, just wherever you can get.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. It's good to have all these little checks coming in, especially for, just have all these little checks coming in. It's the best way to make it work.
Right.
When things are so sporadic.
Yeah, because you can always, if something falls out or kind of falls away or lessens, you have other things that hold you.
Hold you up for sure.
And then that's what you're just a freelancer artist, right? You don't work for any main company or anything.
No.
Yeah, just a lot of different small things here and there.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's awesome. So I remember, you told me, I think, did you recently how long ago was it that you left that kind of full-time job life? Was it pretty recent?
Well, I would say that throughout my career, it's on and off.
Okay.
Sometimes you just freelance in between opportunities. Yeah. Sometimes you're looking for opportunities or, looking for a full-time deal and the right full-time deal. So maybe you freelance for a few years until it comes around. And sometimes it can just be, because sometimes I've even freelanced and had a full time, and it gets
that's a lot.
Still, it gets to be a lot.
A lot of your time working for sure.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember when 2018 maybe. 2018, I think. Yeah, is when I started doing. I started freelancing then, and then so between that and then my year and a half at Paycom and a small stint at a small, only a few months at a agency here in town. Between that, I've mostly freelanced.
Okay, yeah, I was curious because I thought that you had mentioned something about leaving and trying to make a full-time living on just your art or selling prints and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's hard too.
Yeah,
you got. Right now, I got to do all of it.
Yeah,
I got to do graphic design. I've got to do art as well, and then all of that takes a whole lot of time.
So I guess one last question about kind of this question about art and design, but what do you think the difference is? I mean, I kind of have my ideas as far as like a pure visual art, from a expression of yours, and as a designer, right? I mean, obviously, when you're designing, you're working for someone else. Do you have any thoughts on those kind of the difference between art and design? I would say.
I honestly, I don't think they're as different as people would like to say they are. I think there's not a lot of difference per se in having someone come and do an illustration for me, or having me do an illustration for a publication, or, coming and giving me a commission to do of a portrait or a piece of art.
Yeah.
They're very similar. Most of the time, sometimes with either one of those, it could be, you could have a client come to you and say, hey, here's some parameters, and then just do what you want. And
then you're putting yourself into
sometimes
that.
there's that, and then there's other times where they want a lot more control.
Very specific.
And are more specific. So, and then, and I guess the only difference between that is, if you're getting a commission, people are coming to you for your style. It's not always that case with illustration. Sometimes it can be, I want to illustrate it in this style. But for the most part, I don't see a huge difference. I think the biggest difference is, at least between my art and my graphic design, is I'm usually telling my stories instead of telling their stories.
So it's about like telling the story instead of necessarily expressing something from within you. You can...
Well, you still can do that, because I think that the important thing for good design and good art, really is authenticity.
Right, yeah.
And when I look back at, and when I even, there's a difference between like doing some work for someone, it's always, or doing graphic design for someone, you're not always sure, you don't always get feedback at how well it did for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you're selling your art, you can tell. And the art that are the most authentic is what sells of mine. It sells more. And I think that when I first started selling my art, I was just trying to make cool art, and I wasn't telling stories. And it doesn't even matter if people don't know the stories. I know the stories. And when I'm telling the stories, it's just better art.
It's just something comes through. I think people can kind of see the attention to detail or something in there.
I think that people, even if they don't always know why,
you're right,
I think there's more connection to it.
They can kind of feel it or something.
Because it really is about, I think it's about connection. That's what it's all about. People connect with art, and we love art. And we even love graphic design. That's why we get upset when a logo that we really love changes,
Like the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, well, I remember when the Thunder logo came out, and I'm friends with the guy who designed it. And his name's John Minson, and he just retired this year from Ackerman McQueen. And there was this big uproar, but nobody remembers that now. They're all wearing it. They're the champs, and everybody's wearing it. They've been wearing the logo. Nobody cares.
That's something similarly, there's something about one of the worst things I hate about being in a band is coming up with a name. And I think it's funny because, in a similar way, it's like you might come up with a name. There's some really dumb band names. Famous bands. I always think of like the Smashing Pumpkins. That's like a terrible name. I think it's just a weird, dumb name. But it's like, but then whenever you attach an identity or the music to that name kind of takes on a different meaning, So it's not just words anymore. It's this whole identity of its group. So it's funny that they just brought that to mind. That you have like even the name. I remember whenever the name Thunder. I don't think I really liked the name originally. But when I first heard it, but of course, I honestly think it's a badass name though. Thunder. It's it's really cool.
For sure.
But anyways, but yeah, there's something about the last thing I wanted to say on that was I remember thinking about this as design and art, and going back to that conversation real quick. But like the differences I always thought of was design. Usually, all design has something to say, like a specific message of some kind. Like if it's a poster for a concert, it's like go to this concert. Here's the information. This is why that art exists as a design. Whereas like a visual art or painting doesn't necessarily. I mean, it can have a message, but doesn't necessarily need to have a message. Whereas design, all design kind of has something it's trying to say.
Well, it's more utilitarian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's some
purpose.
There's a purpose to it. But even in that, I mean, your goal as a designer, as a graphic designer, is to move the eye through whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're trying to communicate. And I don't think there's any difference when it comes to trying to tell stories in fine art either.
That's something that, whenever you said that about telling a story, that really changed, or I'll have to think about that a lot more, because I never really, I mean, obviously I know that all humans, we're all storytellers. That's what we do. I mean, even if you don't do any art or anything or create anything, you're still telling a story to yourself every day you wake up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how we survive the world. So that's a very, very human thing. But so I think about that a lot, but I never really thought about like a good art or like a visual art as like every piece being like a story. Like that's what makes it good. I don't know.
Well, I think
it's fascinating.
I think there are stories behind them, and there's even stories that can be obvious, and there are stories that can be subtle, or there are stories that are hidden.
Right.
Plus, when people connect with art, they tell their own stories about art.
Yeah.
And those stories are them relating to the art in some way, and I find that a lot with the cat art that I do now, where people just they relate to, because cats are mysterious creatures, and people who love cats and have cats, there's who the cat is, and then there's the cat lore that we all bring because they are so mysterious.
Right.
And this is, I think we do it for dogs too, but not nearly to the capacity that we do for cats.
I think humans feel like they understand dogs better than cats generally. So it's like cats are like almost like you can make up a story or put, they're like a blank canvas of something you can put onto them a little bit more.
Well, because they're more mysterious.
Right, because it is almost an empty kind of canvas or something, I had to say.
Well, they're more like people.
Yeah.
Because, dogs, of course, dogs have great personalities. And I have a dog that I'm, is my best friend, and we're pretty tight. We're really, really tight.
Yeah.
Her name's Belle. And, but she's also more agreeable. And, but then I have, but cats are not. Cats are more like humans.
Yeah, they kind of
they're all different.
They have their own prerogative or whatever.
You have to earn their trust.
Yeah.
You can lose it and have to earn it back.
Dogs are easy.
Dogs are loyal.
Yeah, they kind of, once you have them, they're yours for life. Yeah.
Yeah. And
bond.
Cats are cats are not that way.
Yeah.
They're more like people. And they also teach consent. You can't just go up and pet a cat.
Right. You have to kind of.
You have to go up, kind of feel the situation out, talk to the cat, watch their, and you got to get to know how cats' tails move and how their ears look, so you don't get.
Kind of read those signs.
The murder mittens. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's fascinating.
And so anyway.
Yeah, no, I've always been, I guess, more of a dog person. I like cats too. I've never really I had a dog for like 9 years. She was a boxer, passed away a few years ago. But yeah, she was amazing. Kind of definitely the most bond I'd ever had with another animal or whatever, like a pet.
Yeah.
So I think I might try a cat one day. I mean, I don't know, but I'm kind of just, after she passed, I was like, well, I kind of needed just a break from, having to care for an animal for a while. So, and I'd like to get a bigger house before I got another dog for sure.
Yeah.
But.
Well, cats kind of choose you.
Yeah.
They really do.
It's fascinating.
So.
I'll have to look into it, I think, or, think about that a little bit more, because I think cats could be a good thing for me to maybe pick up. I don't know.
Yeah.
So speaking of, that's a great segue, because I wanted to ask you about the cat paintings and when did you start doing the focusing on that, and like, how do you come up with like the ideas? Is it just something that is kind of easy, or do they just come to you as like a new cat painting idea?
Well, I had I lost my father like 3 years ago.
Oh wow!
And about 9-10 months after he had passed, and I was still grieving.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing some consulting work for Art Space at Untitled downtown Oklahoma City, and so the first day I showed up to do some work, there was this kitten there with Laura Warner, who's the owner of Art Space at Untitled. And she's like, has this cute little cat. He's destroying her earrings while we're sitting and talking at the conference table. And I adopted him that day.
Okay.
And I ended up taking him. To work with me for like 10 months up there. I'd go up there 2 to 4 times a week, and I'd even print up there. And so I would take him with me to Art Space, and he pulled me out of this grief that I was having and brought a whole lot of joy into my life. I was taking him to Elemental Coffee in the mornings. And he loved going to the coffee shop with me, and then loved going to Art Space.
And was he very social, like with people?
No, but there's another cat named Yoshi up there, and he ended up kind of showing him how to be a cat.
Oh, okay.
'Cause he was a kitten, cutest kitten, and so that, and I'd only had him for a few months, and then I went to spend some time in. At a place called the Wichita Mod Lodge in Medicine Park that artist and friend Marilyn Artis owns. And while she is an incredible artist and one of the most incredible interior designers that I've ever met. Now, she only does it for herself.
Yeah.
And
like her
so she has all this really beautiful, mid-century art and cowboy art, Western art, Southwest art, all of those things. Her art, things she's curated, and her place, if you ever want to stay in a really cool place in Medicine Park, check out the Wichita Mod Lodge.
Okay.
Anyway, I was there away from him, and I was surrounded by all this really cool, all this great art, and I got really inspired to paint that as kind of this, this symbol of joy after grief, which was the story. And that's how it all got started.
Wow, okay.
And so from there, I've been finding that, I like to go to the cat cafe in Oklahoma City and spend time there. And so I've been painting cats that I've bonded with there. Ones that, I'll go and get attached, and then they get adopted, and then I have to,
let them go.
Well, it's teaching me a lot about the impermanence of life, to go there and to enjoy the moment and to befriend this creature for a little bit, and then I have to let them go.
Right.
Which is, we lose people. We lose things that we might connect to and love. So life is impermanent. Yeah.
I do think that's one of the reasons I think cats and dogs are so that we kind of. I think that why they're important is to kind of teach us that life is precious, because they, have such shorter lives than we do. So it's that's something that, you kind of, even as a kid or something, if you have like a family pet that passes away, it's like that's usually someone's first experience of death is from a pet.
Sure,
so
for sure.
Kind of helps to learn how to deal with that for sure.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So, so how many cats do you have?
Well, I only have one.
Oh, okay.
I only have one. I only have.
Yeah,
I used to have more.
I've seen that's why I imagine I thought you had bunch because
I had 3 at one
on
time.
your Instagram you have a lot of pictures with other cats. So I was like, oh, he's got like all these different cats.
Well, that's because
that's
I like to meet cats.
From the cat cafe.
And the cat cafe is a good place
Makes
for that.
sense. Okay.
I used to have more,
Okay.
but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's just me and Prince and Belle, and
Nice.
and then I go to the cat cafe still.
Mm-hmm.
I paint those cats.
Yeah.
And I try to and even when I do commissions, I try to go meet the cat if I can, because I like to try to capture it. I don't want to just. I'm not just trying to make up some.
You want to have some kind of connection with them. Just
to bring that personality into it and this connection, and try to make a connection with them. Some I get to spend like maybe an hour with, and others I get to spend several hours with, over time, over months, and watch them get older and things like that.
That's cool.
And so that's kind of, and the cats have become this kind of, they're little gargoyles against grief.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of keep it at bay.
Mm-hmm.
So the art is supposed to be joyful.
Mm-hmm. It's very like, I mean, your stuff is always very like whimsical kind of.
Because I think, I think to me, I'm trying to do art that I want to have around me, and the way the world is, especially now, my home, and I think a lot of us, especially during the pandemic, realized how much of a refuge our homes are.
Yeah.
They've always been a refuge, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but even more so. And I think that having things around you that bring you joy in your home is that's the kind of art that I want around me. I mean, I can do art that tells a lot of stories. But I don't necessarily want to tell a story. I want it to bring joy if I can. Now, that's not everything, but that's a lot of what I do.
And that's kind of the reason why you keep doing the cats specifically.
That's part of it. Plus, people really love the cats. It's another ways that I'm doing it. And I love it too, and so I want to keep doing it. And there may be a time when I stop doing it. I'm about to start doing some dogs because I've got some commissions coming. People are like, you ever do dogs? And I'm like,
you probably get
I
that
haven't
a lot.
yet. I haven't yet. I'll probably do my dog first.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Probably.
That's definitely something as an artist too. I imagine that, I mean, any other artists that, people always want to get their pets, memorialized in that way of making an art piece for that animal for sure they're definitely not going to be around forever. So we got to try to keep something like that. That's nice.
Well, I'm trying to tell their lore if I can.
So kind of, one more question on this, but were there any particular pieces, the cat pieces, or any paintings that you're like particularly proud of, or like what's like been some of your favorites? Anything come to mind?
Well, I would say the original cat piece for sure. It's called Kitty Boy Prince. He's that first thing, of course. That's one of my favorite, and it's also a fan favorite, I guess you could say. I mean that one's probably definitely my favorite. I also have been doing these kind of these rodeo clown girls lately. I've got a couple. I've got some over here, but I would say that those are inspired by a band out of New Orleans called LSD Clown System. They do covers of LCD Sound System.
Oh yeah.
But like with some New Orleans to it.
I'll have to check that out. I love that band, LCD Sound System anyway.
Yeah. Well, LSD Clown System is
a little bit different, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen them twice, and I saw LCD actually earlier this year.
Oh wow, yeah.
And anyway, I'd seen him with some friends in New Orleans last year. the LSD clown system, and then I loved him so much, talked about him so much, that my youngest partner booked them at the Mohawk in Austin back in this last October.
Cool.
And so went down to see them, and they were all dressed as like cowboy clowns. And I got real inspired by it. And so I've started a series of these cowboy clowns.
Cool. That's a
cowgirl clowns or rodeo clowns. It's called my Yee Honk series.
Yeah, okay. I saw that logo for that anyways.
Yeah, so I've been doing some Yee Honk stuff as well. So those are kind of the two things that I'm really doing now. And then my new thing, I've been doing kind of a new thing lately, which it doesn't really have a name. It's kind of like the lips that I showed you for the Little Trees show. Yeah. I've been doing some work along those lines, and it's a bit more. It has more abstraction to it, and that's been a thing I've been playing with for a while, and I didn't really put together what it was. It's really more of a, I don't know, hard to explain. It's not. Most of the work that I do, I plan it like an illustrator. I, draw it, redraw it, design it in some ways. This is more abstract.
Kind of free flowing.
It's more free flowing. It's more about feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about, I discovered a couple of years ago, I got diagnosed with PTSD a couple of years ago, and reading about PTSD, or even just trauma.
Right.
With trauma, what happens is your brain, in order to kind of protect you, splits like the memory from the emotion. And that's why sometimes people, when they get triggered, they don't always realize that they're being triggered, because their bodies may be feeling emotions that their body recognizes as being attached to the trauma, but your mind doesn't always know that. So these are really kind of about that separation of, like the memory and the emotion. And so that's why they're kind of globulars that are almost like oil and water not mixing. And then the overlaps make colors and things like that, because it's really about that. I've been kind of doing some of it, but my therapist recently was like, "Hey, have you ever done any art based on your trauma?" And I was like, "No, my art is usually the antithesis of that." You know what I mean? And so, I spent a couple weeks trying to figure out, how do I do this?
Like, how do you represent that?
Yeah. And I came to the conclusion that no one needs to actually have a clear story of that. Yeah. Because it's not a story that anybody really would necessarily want to hear. You know what I mean? Those stories aren't what people really want to hear, but to take that and turn it into something beautiful, still representational, and still make something beautiful out of taking that. And I think for years I've tried to figure out, like, I wanted to make art about it, but I didn't know how. Yeah. I haven't thought about, for years, of doing like, submitting something for Theater Crude, if you're familiar with Theater Crude. It's a fringe festival. Okay. A theater fringe festival. And it consists of short, original productions.
Like a film festival type deal? Or?
Yeah, it's experimental. It's experimental theater for the most part. Okay, and we have one here called Theater Crude. In fact, let me get my glasses on. That is coming up, Theater Crude. Oh, it's coming up October 2nd through the 11th. And I think they're just look them up on the internet.
I'll have to look into that, because like I said, I love any type of performance art is like my favorite thing to check out.
Well, you should check it out, because it's I thought about doing it for that, but again, it was like I just didn't feel like I wanted to tell those stories to people. Not I mean, sometimes it could be shame, I guess, but also not.
But it's like, yeah,
it's not. They're not great stories.
Yeah,
you know
I think I
mean?
get what you said, because
Yeah.
I feel like your passion is to like bring joy and happiness, and it's like this is like the opposite. So it's like you don't want to bring sadness into the world necessarily.
But I still can take and turn it into
Yeah.
something. So that's.
I mean, yeah, I think you should
Yeah.
too. I think that's such a powerful way for us to deal with those things, these internal things that are just, I mean, they're there, you know, we got to do something with them. So you might as well do art or turn them into something that's can be, at least, I always think about like a lot of art and expression of just taking something inside of you and bringing it into the world and making it physical instead of, you know, inside of your brain that it isn't actually even anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just thoughts, and then making it. But then whenever you can see it in the real world, it like kind of loses some power over you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've been playing
therapeutic.
around with that kind of new thing, but but it wasn't clear what it was, and I was putting it in some art. Like I would do these cap paintings, and I like using the birch panels, sometimes the thicker ones when I can get them.
Yeah.
But I was putting this kind of, I don't know, oil water globular kind of thing on the edges of the paintings, and not even realizing that they were as significant as, because I've been doing it for a while, and it felt. It was more based on feeling, and it really, it brought me some relief, I would say. And so it wasn't until my therapist was like, you know, have you ever done any art? Yeah. And then I started like trying to sit down and do it. I was setting in a lot of uncomfortableness, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I do this like an illustration project and trying to put it all together, and it wasn't right. And I did some sketches, and I was like, this doesn't feel good. Didn't feel good anyway, but it just wasn't right. And then sitting in it and doing it, and then I finished this one piece, and it was pretty clear to me what it was. It was pretty late at night. I started laughing like an insane person.
Yeah, just because of the realization of.
And I probably because I am insane. And it was a great deal. I was like, and then I ended up doing I did a skateboard for the Plaza Walls skateboard show recently.
I think I saw your Instagram of that.
Yeah, it sold too. It was actually me and Jerry Bennett both sold our boards the day before it opened. And we're like the old dudes. So I was like, but it was, anyway, again, it's, people don't have to necessarily know that story.
But yeah, like they can kind of sense it, I think, or kind of feel, like you said, they can put their own story on it. And
people always will. I mean, because whether we believe it or not, we're all storytellers, because we all tell ourselves stories in our own minds that aren't true all the time.
Or I think, like I said too, every morning you wake up, you have to telling yourself who you are, right? As like, I'm this, and this, and I got to do this, and this, and that.
Yeah, and we tell ourselves stories that are not true all the time, that are fantasy.
Make it up.
We don't always realize it. I think that's just how we are, and we like stories. Yeah. I mean, that's how we connect with the world too, you know, is through stories.
So yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love that about art in general. As I think about art more generally, I've been thinking a lot about art as just like an expression of like emotion and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to it whenever you really think about it.
It can be a whole lot of things. And I think that's what's great about art, is it doesn't have to be, you know, it's really, art is about being human.
Right.
And that's what I think. AI art, I just don't even know if those two things belong together.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Makes sense.
And all AI is doing anyway.
It's copying us.
It's taking and sampling a bunch of different people and trying to put it together until we're satisfied.
Yeah.
You know?
This episode of Rhythm and Wit was brought to you by Campbell & Son Electric, Oklahoma City's trusted one-truck electrical contractor with over 20 years of experience in the field. Whether it's upgrading your home's electrical service, troubleshooting issues, or tackling small commercial projects, Campbell & Son Electric delivers top-notch work with care and attention you'd expect from a family business. Servicing areas like Del City, Edmond, Yukon, Mustang, and beyond, they're your go-to for reliable expert service. Need help with your next project? Visit CampbellandSonElectric.com today and get it done right the first time. Campbell & Son Electric, brightening Oklahoma, one wire at a time.
I wanted to jump into Factory Obscura a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Keep you too late or anything. Did you have any time
I got a buddy's birthday party to go to after this.
Yeah,
hey, JB, happy birthday.
So, I won't want to keep you all night for sure, but I definitely wanted to talk about Factory Obscura a little bit, and then kind of we can kind of try to wind it down a little.
Sure.
So, how did you get involved with the Factory Obscura? I know you told me a little bit about that, but what's kind of the beginnings there?
Well, in 2018, I was dating a woman who was part of Factory Obscura.
Okay.
And
but they're part of the original foundation.
Yeah, and I had went to their first thing I went to was they had a midnight dinner.
Okay.
And that was, not the first thing. I guess that was the second thing. The first thing I went to was their first experience, their temporary pop-up experience at Current Studio, which was called, what was that one called?
That was before they even had the mixtape building and all of that, right? Way before.
Yeah, it was their first one. It was called Shift.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought it was amazing, and it was incredible. I was I was just impressed that people had thought of this and this was happening. I knew nothing about Meow Wolf at that time or anything, and I was just super impressed with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a thing called a midnight dinner, and I was doing theater at that time, and I was doing this play, and I was like, I didn't have much time because it was a 2-person play, and those take a lot. And so I was kind of like, I reluctantly went to this midnight dinner, and it was at this warehouse, and some people were dressed up, and I was just like, this is weird. What's going on? And then they opened it up, and there were candles and aerialists, and everything was really low, the lights were low, and these long tables, and then there was all this performance art going on. I met all these artists around me. It was the coolest thing. And I was like, this midnight dinner was one of the coolest things. And I was like, who are these magicians?
Yeah, where did they come from?
They're so mysterious, right? And I was so impressed.
That's awesome.
So then when they were doing Beyond, when they were building Beyond, it was their second pop-up, their second temporary exhibition. And it was at the old Tire Town in Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Just a little south of where Scissortail Park. I think it's kind of across from it.
Right.
Now. Anyway. And that was being built still at the time. And I was basically in a play that was being done in the space, the shift space. We were rehearsing it while they were building it. And so I would go there quite often to see them, where they were on their builds.
Yeah.
And the way the show worked was we would rehearse, we would do improv exercises. And we ended up, and then a writer wrote the script around some of these little improv exercises that we came up with. And so it was an immersive play in this immersive space. And while that was going on, they asked me to do some things for Shift, just some small things like some
artwork, some
lettering around some doors, some poetry that the girlfriend at the time had written. And then she wrote some letters, and I letters that were clues in a drawer in this room. And so I, did them in different handwritings and for these clues and storytelling.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Then they asked me to do the mixtape logo.
Yeah.
And they were in the process of getting, and that's when I found out they had gotten the what was called the Womb, that is no longer called the Womb. It's now Factory Obscura.
Mm-hmm.
And that they were putting this new thing together. And so I did like a logo and a poster for them. Mm-hmm. But I still wasn't really a part. They just kind of paid me to do it as freelance work. And I remember going to the girlfriend. I was like, well, Factory Obscura is your thing. I'm doing theater. That's my thing. I don't really have time for this.
Yeah.
And one day, I don't know if it was 2018 or 2019, I went on a little outing to see the Meow Wolf documentary at the movie theater with all the Factory Obscura people. And that night I changed my mind and decided that I wanted to be a part of Factory Obscura. Mm-hmm. And so I've been a member of the collective since 2019.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. I love Factory Obscura for sure. I think, what they're doing is like one of the coolest, like you said, the absolute coolest things that we've got going on. I've been to Meow Wolf Denver, which is mind-blowing too. I want to go to some of the others for sure, because there's a couple more that aren't far from here.
Yeah, there's
Texas, I think.
Grapevine, there's Houston, there's Vegas, and then of course Denver.
Mm-hmm. How many have you been to? Any? How many of those have you been to?
All of them but Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's such a cool idea, and just like, I don't know, it's something about just taking art and just just blowing it up completely, to the most massive scale. So,
well, I think too, what's when I started working with Factory Obscura, I was like, they have like a code of collaboration that all the artists have to go by, and it's really well written, well thought out. Like the first rule is the improv rule of yes and. And it's about working together. Mm-hmm. And I would say, being a graphic designer you are automatically a collaborative artist. You kind of have to be to do graphic design.
You're working with
if you're a musician, you're also a collaborative artist. Mm-hmm. Theater is collaborative art. But this is the first time I was like, oh, fine art collaborative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's usually not the case. I mean, it's sometimes you can work together on a collaboration, maybe with one other person or something, but
artists are doing that with Factory Obscura. And they're doing it with Meow Wolf. They're doing it at other places. And I mean, their tagline is "The future is collaborative," and I think that it has to be.
Yeah,
the future has to be for us to all survive, right?
For sure.
And that group has taught me so much about being an artist. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm selling fine art now,
because of them.
Yeah. I got inspired to do it. It's funny. It took me all this collaborative art, decide to start do some solo art. You know what I mean?
No, that's great. It's definitely, because that was one of my questions, how has it kind of influenced your own work? Which was, that's already a great answer. I wanted to ask you, have you heard of or been into a place called Mycelium Gallery?
Oh, I love Mycelium Gallery.
Have you been?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I love it. In fact, I saw Clay and Elena. Yeah, I saw both of them recently at the Blue Note when I was selling, and I had a great conversation with them. I want to do some stuff with them, but I haven't figured out what I want to do.
Or how to, where you fit in. Yeah.
Well, what I really love about Mycelium is the community that they are creating.
Yeah.
It's a different community. They really support the trans community, and they're supporting these young artists who are experimenting, and they're putting it on the walls, and they're just doing it, and they're doing a lot of art, a lot of small pieces, a lot of stuff, and experimenting. And it's really fun to go in there and see this kind of, well, it's not, usually if you're going to see art, it's curated. And this is not so curated.
Yeah,
and I think there's something really awesome about that.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great because that to me is inspiring because art is that way. You don't just get there. Art has to have room for experimentation. There's so much great experimentation going on there. One of my friends named Moth.
Yeah, I know Moth. Well, I met them a couple months ago. We did, because I know that you'd shared our video. I do a lot of work. I've known Barclay and Elena for maybe since like 2017, 18. I met them and just watched them with this gallery grow and grow and grow.
Have you been doing their videos for them?
Yeah, I do all their videos.
I love it. No, I love that video.
So that's why I was going to say that's when I met Moth, and then
and Moth. See, I met Moth we were doing a pop-up on 39th Street at Point A Gallery.
Yeah. Okay.
And I met them, and I was like, "Who is this
Just
person?"
Wild, yeah.
And they set their art up right across from me.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. And before that pop-up was over, we ended up trading pieces.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And the next day I ended up messaging Moth back and said, I really want to paint your portrait and I want you to paint mine.
Yeah, that's fun.
And so we talked about it. Then we met up at Elemental Coffee one day and we were like talking about it. And then while we were talking about it, we kind of came up, it's like, well, what if we invited other people and we made a show out of it?
Oh, okay.
So we did this show last year at, was it last year? Or was it, I can't remember. Yeah, it was last year. We did a show at Elemental Coffee called Trading Faces.
Nice. Yeah, I must have missed that. I mean, I usually try to keep my attention on those, but I hadn't heard of that one.
Basically, the concept was 10 portrait artists pair up and paint each other.
Yeah.
Because usually portrait artists are not the subjects.
Yeah,
We're,
right.
So
that's fun.
And also, it was also a way to get to know other artists as well. And we produced that show together. I mean, Moth was such a hard worker and such a great artist. And anyway, I ended up giving my portrait to Moth after the show was over. And then my son bought the portrait of me.
Oh, cool.
So he has it in his living room.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we've been friends since then. I adore Moth, and I so Moth is really what kind of brought me to Mycelium.
Yeah, because they've had stuff in there for I think since the beginning or very early.
Yeah, and they've been they also do some drag shows in there as well.
Yeah, pretty regularly.
And those have been they've been so good.
Yeah, I haven't been to any of the drag shows there. I'm at the gallery at least 3 or 4 times a month for different events. I mean, usually I always try to make the big group art show because that's one of my favorite things they do is bringing in so many different artists and having a big collaborative, not collaborative, but like a group art show of one theme. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love group art shows. Group art shows are great to meet all the other artists in town.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, we've got 2 coming up. We've got, of course, the opening will be past when this airs for the little tree shows at Canopy. That one's got so many in it, but 12 by 12 is the other one.
Okay, and that's for the OVAC, right?
Yeah, it's OVAC. I think that one's put it in my deal. Let me look at my glasses here. I think it's where's it at? 12 by 12 is on October 3rd.
Okay, cool. So that's coming up pretty soon. I'm going to try to make it to that one. I love the Momentum art show that they've been doing. They've had it I remember going there 10, 15 years ago. It's such a cool show. And then I think it went away for a while, but
I think it's
now
back.
it's back. Yeah, because I went there a couple of years ago and they invited me actually to go there and interview some of their artists and we did a video. So I want to do some more stuff with OVAC for sure, as they're doing some really great work.
Yeah, they do great work.
Yeah.
There's also we've got
and,
like the Girly Show coming up, and I'm doing some graphic design for them on that. And that's a show that used to be around for like 10 years.
Wow.
I think it was like 2004 to 2014. And now it's back, and it will be at the farmers market.
Okay, yeah.
On October 14th and 15th. 14th is the party, and it's always a cool party.
I'll have to try to make it.
And then the 15th is more like more like the market. Even though the artists will be there for both days, but like the Friday night is always the cool thing. And I've done, I think out of the 10 years that they did the old one, I did 8 out of the 10 posters for it.
Okay, for the marketing.
Yeah, and Marilyn Artist, the one I was talking about earlier, she's an incredible artist, by the way. She's one of the founders, and we've been friends for many years.
What's the idea on it, or is it any specific? It's
all female, all women.
Okay, cool.
Not necessarily female, all women.
Women, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I hadn't heard of that before, which maybe I have. I mean, I probably.
It's been gone for 10 years,
right,
so
and
now it's back.
That's great.
The Oklahoma City Arts Council is actually putting it on. They are the ones that said, "Hey, why don't you bring this back?" So they're helping instead of the original founders actually doing all the work now. Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
They are helping. They're doing a lot of the work that the girlies used to have to do.
Right. That definitely makes it easier for sure.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see. It's almost 8. So I kind of wanted to get into some quick hits real quick about some of the other stuff you do. I mean, you talked about. I wanted to ask you about playing music, but what instruments do you play? What all you play? You said harmonica.
Oh, I was just a singer and harmonica player.
Singer. Okay, cool.
Well, and what I realized is that, it took me a long time to call myself a musician.
Yeah.
I was really more of a performer, and so I stopped playing music because I started doing theater.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'm more of a performer than I am a musician. Because I think most musicians are music nerds, and I was never a music nerd. But I've got a good singing voice. I'm a pretty good harmonica player.
Yeah.
But I'm a good performer.
Yeah, being on stage.
I hated being in the recording studio.
Yeah.
And unless we were setting it up and doing it live. When we did that, those are the only recordings I like that we made. Were the ones that were done
because it's like an actual performance.
Well, he was basically right across from me. We're mic'd up. We can
play off each other.
We can play off each other and play off the energy of each other. And because it is a real collaboration, it doesn't feel as collaborative to me when you're in the studio.
You have to piece it out and put it together later.
Yeah, I've played harmonica on multiple songs over the years for different people. Not that I do much anymore.
Right.
But I just never liked that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be live because that's because that's where I'm really connecting with people.
Yeah, that's
I'm connecting with either the audience or the band members. And sometimes when there was
both. No,
it would be both. Sometimes when nobody's applauding,
right,
you're just connecting with your band members and having a good time and feeling that energy and and really enjoying creating something.
Yeah, I definitely know that feeling as far as when you get book shows and then you show up and there's like 2 or 3 people in the audience. It's like, well, we're just playing for each other now with the other band members.
But you know
still
what?
Fun.
So what?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we still did it and it was still a good time. So
yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I was always curious about the music side, and definitely that's something I always ask people whenever I have like a comedian or even musician, it's like I always ask them like, what else do you do? You know, because it's like as an artist, most of us we do something else besides our main thing, or at least we've tried other things. So
well, we have to most of the time because art doesn't pay the bills most of the time.
That's true too, for sure. So then, we talked already about photography, and I was going to ask you, what do you like to photograph? I imagine it's the nature stuff, right? That's what you used to do.
Yeah, I did a lot of candid hiking stuff. I mean, I like candid shots of people, but I also like, I did a lot of high contrast black and whites. I did a lot of stuff, honestly. For a while there, I'd go hiking almost every weekend and then post 20 to 30 photos in a series. I even blogged about it for a while.
Okay, cool.
That were just kind of a story about what happened. Mostly a visual story. Sometimes I'd have more than that. I loved it. My friends loved it too because they had all these really cool adventure photos to put on their dating profiles.
Yeah.
And you made a lot of friends that way.
Yeah, that's cool. That's something I like. I like hiking. I'm not like, as far as hiking goes, though, I've never really done like wilderness type hiking, like in the actual out. I go hiking at the lake, Lake Hefner, or Overholser is what you mentioned earlier before was. I haven't been out there. I mean, I've been to Lake Overholser, but I imagine it's a great place to get exercise around the lake.
Yeah, but those trails over there are pretty. I mean, it depends on the time of year. There's a lot of ticks in there, and it's not that great. I mean, they're great having it that close.
Yeah.
And there's kayaking. I live right over by there. I love all of it. It's great, but it's not like the Wichita Mountains that we have like an hour and a half away. They're incredible. That's the place to go.
Yeah.
Even when I go other places, it's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Because it's small enough where you don't have to stay on a trail. Like it's hard. Most people don't know this, or some people don't know this, that it's hard to get lost out there.
Yeah.
Walk one direction long enough and you'll hit a fence or a road.
Right. Because it's probably not as big as you kind of think it is.
No, it's not very big. And only a third of it is open to the public.
Yeah.
The other 2/3 are closed because it is a refuge.
Actually, for a while.
But what's great is that I've been going out there for over 10 years now, and I always find new stuff, you know, always. And it's, it's my church out there.
That's awesome. I was going to ask about that too anyway. So, the impact on mental health. I mean, do you go out there pretty frequently anyways, or is there like certain times when it's like you feel stressed out and you need to go out there and kind of get away from it for a bit?
I try to go there as much as I can. I used to go every weekend or I'd go 2 to 4 times a week, times a month, not week. Times a month.
I was like, that'd be a lot of gas.
Sometimes I go a little bit more, and I have a dog. My dog's a German short-haired pointer, which is a sporting dog. It's a hunting dog, but it's a sporting dog, and she is a beast out there.
Yeah.
She can climb almost anything.
That's awesome.
Unless it's straight up.
Yeah.
But she's...
You can get around for sure.
She's a beast out there. And so I've had a lot of really great times with her out there. I've gone out there for years for mental health. Yeah,
that's something that I found. Like I said, I started going to Lake Hefner, because that's real close to here. To walk the trails around the lake, and it just does wonders for my mental health. It just stress, and it's like anytime I feel like I'm a little bit like out of, maybe overwhelmed or something like that, it's always like it kind of helps me figure out what I need to do next and prioritize or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it calms.
Yeah,
it calms me for sure. And I've read there's plenty of scientific evidence to show that people who spend a long time in nature get similar feelings that people who go to church get. And that's why I call it church. Yeah. Because it's doing some of the same things.
Right.
You know? And so that place has become my church. Actually, my dog was born out there in that area. And so I have a connection in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that live out there that I see. Yeah. And I also think that Medicine Park, which is the town right there in the area, is a pretty magical place.
Yeah,
as well.
I've been out there at least once or twice for sure. I remember I've spent a little bit of time in that little town and on that main street.
It's a magical place in Oklahoma. I'm telling you right now.
Cool.
Of course, don't rush there. I like it being where it is.
It's like you don't want to blow up your spot. Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay. So these are kind of the last major questions I have I like to ask everybody, but what's the biggest challenge that you're currently facing? Anything, whether it's in art or life, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. Well, I think that it's probably what a lot of people are facing, which is, you spend the first 40 years of your life collecting people, and then you spend the next 40 losing them.
Right.
And so, I think that and, realizing that, I think the realization that I have complex PTSD has been
challenging on its own.
Yeah, but it's good now because I know.
Yeah, you can
because I didn't know.
You can manage it now a little
well,
bit better.
I'm learning to, I suppose, and so I think that's part of it, and I think. Especially when you're losing people, grief is something that is very human. We all experience grief, and it's really hard for all of us. And it's and we all experience grief differently. And I think that especially once we get to a certain age, we just start losing people. And so that's why. Now it's clear to me of some of the things that I do, and so the cats at the Cat Cafe has been helping me understand that impermanence and trying to live in the moment, not live in the past, not fear the future, to be present and to enjoy people, animals, whatever it is, while I can.
Right. Yeah.
While I can, because it could be gone tomorrow, and just trying to live that way. So, I mean, I think, the world is pretty challenging anyway.
It's there's always something that's. I mean, you just turn on the news and there's something to worry about.
And I think that with what's going on in our country right now, it is very challenging for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think, especially, I don't know, I like to joke that Gen Xers were all we all have PTSD from the boomers, and we're all getting triggered right now.
For sure. Yeah, it's coming up. For sure.
And so, and most of us weren't really taught how to deal with, how to regulate our emotions. We just weren't. Yeah. Some of us were. Some of us figured it out. Yeah. Others, it was hard. And so I think that's something that better late than never, I guess.
No, that's something definitely. I mean, there's so much information now about mental health and how to deal with stress that was never taught even in school or anywhere. So
well, the stigma's gone away, and so then it makes it easier where you're like, I mean, it's different when you're like, you grow up thinking, oh, God blessed me with this talent. And when it's really, I was a traumatized child, and this is how I coped, and art was always a place where I could find refuge and cope, and
that's why you had
felt felt some esteem about me being a person whenever I was a child, because that was really tough. I had a lot of, lot of family who scapegoated me when I was growing up. And so art was that place. And they would even say, you're born with all this talent.
Yeah.
And so, but realizing that it was a place, that it was my drug or alcohol, but luckily it wasn't something that was destructive. Right. It was constructive. So, that's another reason. I do think that we need to fund arts for that reason, because there are a lot of kids that do that.
Yeah.
A lot of kids. I mean, there's a lot of musicians that are all music nerds, and they love music so much, and they play, and it actually gets them out into the world. And so, and gets them out of their house and helps them
get them into the world, into a community.
Yeah. And it's also connection. I mean, art does connect. And I think that people are going out and seeking connection, and whether I realized it or not as a small kid, it was how I would connect with the world, and still to this day connect to the world,
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if that answered your question.
That's awesome. I love it. And then kind of last question before we wrap is, what does success look like to you? You can talk about what I don't know, answer whatever you like, or whatever maybe you're looking forward to next.
Success. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I think about it too much. Yeah, I don't know that I think too much about that. Honestly, I mean, success to me, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because success is, to me, if someone likes my art, that's success for me. That's a win.
Yeah.
Getting to be on. I mean, you invited me to this podcast. I'm very grateful for that. That's success to me.
For sure.
Being able to continue to do work, to me, that's success to me.
Just continue on. You think it's like maybe being recognized as like you said, you were saying, if someone likes your art, or somebody like me notices you're a great artist and they want to talk to you, it's like you're being recognized as a person or an artist. Or
I mean, I like to talk to people about my art.
Yeah.
So I like doing arts festivals because
you get to meet people out there.
And most of the time, I think a lot of times with artists, fine artists, and even graphic designers, they don't always get that. Especially fine artists don't get that. And it's kind of this solo thing. But, in theater and performing arts, the art is incomplete without an audience. That, because, when you're performing, it's different every night.
Yeah.
You pick up the energy from the people that are in the audience, and it can change the performance. And I think that even though people don't think of it this way, I think that it can change fine art as well, because when you start meeting the people that like your work and become fans, and how it connects with them, you're connecting to them. And it makes you want to make more for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you've made a connection with them, that they're like, oh, I mean, the cowboy cats I like cats too.
Yeah. You have that instant connection right there.
And there's a connection with, the lore of cats and all of that. So you connect with people that way. And it makes me want to do more. So I think in some ways, fine art, you don't think of there being performance to it, but maybe there is. Yeah. Maybe sometimes there is. Yeah.
It's just like it's a transaction between two people in a way that's the same. Similarly, whenever you're performing, like say stand-up comedy, like we always talk about that, like stand up does not exist without an audience,
Of
period.
course, it doesn't.
It's like you have to have people there watching, otherwise it's just does not work.
No, you're a writer if you're not. You're just a writer if you're not, if comedian, yeah.
But yeah, so similarly in that way, you have that transaction. I mean, without an artist creating art, I mean, if you just create art in a vacuum or whatever, it's just like, it doesn't really have, if nobody sees that art.
But you can. I mean, people get discovered and they can still enjoy their art and all that, and people don't have to.
Yeah.
I particularly like it. I love doing pop-ups. I love doing markets. I like to get to meet people that like my art, to talk to them about it, and connect with them in that way.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating thing that you mentioned. That I know we didn't talk enough about that, but you do a lot of art markets, and I think that's awesome. I like going to art markets to meet artists. I mean, that's where I met you.
I do too, because I meet a lot of artists.
Yeah, other artists,
and artists are my people, man.
Yeah.
It's like I love meeting new artists. Yeah. So
it's a perfect place. I love. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. It seems like that those types of things are getting more and more prevalent, and definitely in Oklahoma City. And getting all kinds of art. I mean, especially at this time of year is a great time.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, last question is, of course, where can people find you online? And then we can shout out the Little Trees and basically the Plaza Fest one more time.
Yeah. My website is toddeclark.com. You can connect to me through that, which will take you to Instagram, Facebook if you want to as well. I think those are the only really other places I'm at. And my Instagram is Todd E Clark as well.
Yeah. It's a great place to keep up with your
artwork. I think that I'm probably, now I'm thinking about it, put all these dates of the things that I'm in.
Yeah.
On my site, I don't have that right now.
Like an events kind of
tab. I probably will do that sometime in the next couple of days.
For sure.
But I sell, prints on there. I sell some T-shirts. I sell some hand embellished prints. I don't have originals on there right now because I don't have a ton.
Do you sell those if you go to one of the markets that you're gonna?
Yeah, I sell them at markets. I sell them. I also sell it like Bonus Track, which is Factory Obscura's. Their store, their gift shop. I sell at DNA galleries. Sell prints in there. I sell. I don't have anything in there right now, but I'm about to take some stuff to Wildfire Gallery in Paseo.
Okay.
Some pieces in there. There'll be some cowboy cats coming soon in there. That's kind of it.
Cool. Yeah. That's definitely. I love whenever people have. You just have a website because that's the easiest thing to point people to, and then they can find what their preferred social media platform is.
Well, and then once we get to the pop-ups, there's some coming up that I'm in. So I'm in. Well, I'll have a piece in the Little Tree Show.
Yeah, that's gonna be. People can check that out at the Plaza District Festival, which is September 27th.
That's correct. And then I'll be out there, but it'll be too late.
Okay.
I'll be out there for the Friday for
the opening
for the Cruise the Plaza is what it's called. I know I have another one coming up before the year's over. It might be next month, but I can't remember. I'd have to look
Plaza
it up.
Or
one of the Fridays at the Plaza. I can't remember. They have different ones.
I know they have. Well, in October it'll be the Plaza or something.
I may be in that one.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my website.
Sure.
What else do I have? Oh, and then if 12 by 12, of course, which is on October 3rd, I'm in that show. And I've got my piece here.
That is through Oklahoma Visual Art Coalition. Where is it going to be at? Do you know that show specifically?
I don't.
Because I know they do it. They've done it at different places.
They did it at Farmers Market last year. I'm not sure if they're doing it there again. They move it around from time to time.
Yeah. Because I'll have to try to make it to that because I've been wanting to go to that since
that's a great one.
Heard about it,
That's a great one because there's so many artists in it.
All the art is in a 12 by 12. That's
correct.
The parameters, right?
Correct. And Little Trees is a group show in that respect, but they're smaller. They're all in that tree shape. I'm really looking forward to that one. Plus, it's Canopies.
Yeah. Is that their opening
thing?
Like because that's a new place, isn't it?
It's newer. Yeah. Like I remember I was with Chris Canale at the Plaza Fest last year because I was on the committee again last year.
Cool.
And the guy that owns the convenience store across the street owns that building.
Oh, okay.
And he took the two of us through walking through the place, and it looked bad. It was gutted for the most part. It was an old gas station.
Take a lot of work to get it up. And
then all of a sudden, so like Chris is in there, Dylan Bradway, Dylan's girlfriend Maeve is in there as well, and then Carlos, I can't remember Carlos's last name. He's there, and Tony Thunder, and there may be somebody else. And so the idea was, since it used to be a gas station, the Little Tree air fresheners.
Oh,
that's where the idea comes from. So, awesome. And that studio is pretty cool. It's small, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okie Dust is in there as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I need to check it out for sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to be at the Plaza. I'm trying to figure out, schedule do some interviews out there and make a video. Possibly a visual artist. I'm really interested in a lot of the music. The music lineup for this year is pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah.
So that's always my favorite thing about that show in particular, that festival.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks, Todd, for coming. This has been a fascinating conversation. Like I said, I love everything that you do because I think a lot of it is stuff that I do too. So it's been a great time talking to you. Thanks for coming over, man.
Yeah,
this has
very
been a
cool,
pleasure.
Dude. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Bye. This is great.
Thanks, man.
That was so fun.